love to invite somebody whom, having taken over these responsibilities very recently, I had the pleasure of making acquaintance with. And he also happens to be a fairly large customer of ours, and we love working with them. It's a relationship which is about 5 years old, and I would definitely like to, with a small round of applause from all of you, invite Mr. Sunil Kumar, the CTO of ShipRocket, on the stage, please. So if we can please have Sunil, you on stage. And before I let Sunil introduce himself, great to have you. Thank you for coming in. I would just like to give you a little bit of a backdrop on ShipRocket, please. ShipRocket, of course, all of you would know as a logistics company, but it is more than just that. It's now a hypercommerce solution provider. In fact, I just received an alert a few minutes ago from ShipRocket saying that my T-shirt was delivered. I am not kidding you. It is actually there. I just absolutely love ShipRocket even as a customer. They service the entire country through their hypercommerce network today, servicing over 27,000 PIN codes plus, ship to about 220 countries, have over 100,000 sellers on board, and have grown strength to strength over a period of this time. I'm very happy to have Sunil here on board, and would love to hear in his own voice about his experience with Slack. We are proud to have them as our customers, and how life has been and probably changed for the better after Slack's been on board. So without further ado, Sunil, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and please feel free to share your opinions and thoughts. Now, we know that ShipRocket has really had an explosive growth and journey over the last few years. You have grown in terms of people, you've grown in terms of your complexity, servicing, distribution, and all of this. When we were talking offline, you also mentioned that one of the key challenges that came to you was during the pandemic, when you were left wondering when suddenly the way that we worked changed as to how do you really bring your employees together? How do you really bring teams together? How are you able to drive collaboration amongst all of them? Could you share some experiences of how that journey was? What led you to this thought and decision behind looking and adopting Slack? And how's the experience been so far?
Thank you so much for the kind words, Himanshu. And as you said, the journey with Slack started around 4 or 5 years back. So I'll share a small anecdotal story, a real life one. So we go back to, say, early 2020, early pandemic days. And we were a small company. We are still a small and agile company, but in those times, we were a 200-member company with a 35-member tech team. Currently, we stand at around 1,250 people with a 300-member tech team, a digital native born in cloud. So those were the times we were using Telegram channels essentially very aggressively for all our official communication and collaboration tools. And come March first week, it was lockdown. And being a small company, we were not heavily invested in tools like any enterprise will do. But we had a problem at hand. Our processes were not watertight. We had a specific way of working, which involved just walking up to a person and talking and getting it done, as compared to, and like most of us in the room, working remotely was the first time for us. So me and Sahil, who is our founder and CEO, we just thought what to do. And the first time I saw Slack was way back in 2015 when I was at HT Media, a very nascent product at that point in time. So we said, let's just play around with this thing. And I remember it was Thursday evening, and by around midnight Thursday, both of us were of the view that this thing will work for us. And by Monday afternoon, we worked over the weekend and everything, and this was happening all remotely. And by Monday afternoon, the entire office was onboarded on Slack.
Wow.
And we started collaborating. Initial few days were tough because it was a changed way of working. But I must say, in last 5 years, we have grown from strength to strength. And as you said, it's both now have become a super app. So a combination of human data and system data. So that is how we have grown. And currently, if we talk about, we are using it for almost all our stuff. So when I say all our stuff, not just the regular communication channels, it is used for communication and collaboration with almost all our external partners. It is used for our observability. So any system alerts, any automation test suites which run whenever our release goes out. All these things are integrated with Slack. And it has become sort of a one-stop thing for us. In terms of collaboration, huddles we use extensively. Uh, the search is very powerful. I mean, you just share your documents and you can just reference them back. So earlier I was a huge fan of search on Mac. So if you just
Yes.
take it, the online avatar in the cloud, so that is what it is. I mean, you don't have to remember, you don't have to organize, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make that folder structure and remember कि मैंने वहाँ पे वो रखा था. No, you don't have to do it, and it's there. So it has, I mean, you have to see it to believe it.
Very interesting. And thank you for bringing out so many unique use cases that you have worked with and have evolved with over a period of time. If we were to look into the pain into the future as well, Sunil, and look at what lies ahead, to your mind, what is going to drive the greatest degree of productivity and efficiency in modern workplaces, such as Shiprocket, where you have digital natives, where the new millennials have now entered the workforce for you? What do you think is the future of modern work going to look like? And what are your thoughts and ambition as a technology leader on how Slack can possibly help you bridge that requirements as you step into the future?
So, Himanshu, if I look at it, you touched about the structured and unstructured data in your talk. So I'll give you a simple example. I talked about, so today if I have a channel where I get all my alerts from my production environment, but that is a structured data which is fine. But there is a classification of that alert. If I have to see a summary in an automated fashion to make sense out of it, that, okay, how was the day? In terms of system uptime, reliability, my API performance, if the benchmark is 150 ms, how it performed, all that thing is integrated, but how to make sense of it? If I have a tech issues channel, so to say, on Slack, where all the system related or product related issues are escalated, so was it a one-off or was it a systemic issue at a broader scale affecting many of my sellers? So making sense of that data, building on top of it, will be a huge productivity boost, if I have to say. You talked about workflow integrations, the approval mechanisms, and other stuff. So for instance, in terms of if I have my onboarding workflow integrated into Slack. So if I have to do, as a HR head, if I have to look that, okay, if in last month I have X number of onboardings, what was the SLA, all those things were done. So building that AI layer on top of it so that it makes sense of data for especially for the people who are the decision makers. Because now, what has happened, we have assimilated the entire information in one super app. But now, to make sense of it, you have to spend some time.
Got it.
So that will be a huge, huge thing. And I think you touched upon the AI aspect, and things are moving in that direction.
Profound words. Thank you very much, Sunil. I think, unfortunately, we are out of time. but it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and speaking to you today. And I'm looking forward to our partnership and collaboration as we move forward.
Himanshu, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen.